Zhēn represents the image of a hanging cloth accessory. Ancient people often wore a cloth accessory on their belt. The character zhēn resembles the image of such a cloth accessory. The middle line represents the strap tied at the top. Zhēn is a type of cloth. Characters created with zhēn are all related to cloth, silk, and clothing. For example, 布, cloth, 帛, silk, 帕, handkerchief, 敝, flag. 帘, curtain, 帐, mosquito net, etc. are all characters created with zhēn. Now let's learn some example characters. First, let's learn 布, cloth. This is a typical phonosemantic compound character. The top part was originally 父, father. This component indicates the pronunciation. Below is zhēn. A cloth accessory is a type of cloth. This serves as a hint. 布 is something similar to zhēn in shape and material. The original meaning of 布 is cloth. Material made from cotton, hemp, etc. Used as raw material for clothing, because when weaving cloth, it's often made very large. Woven into a long piece. It needs to be spread out when used. So 布 extended to mean to spread out, to unfold, to arrange, and other similar meanings. There's an idiom called 星罗棋布, which we're all very familiar with. 罗 means to arrange in order. 布 means to cover, to scatter. This idiom means, like stars arranged across the sky, like chess pieces scattered on a board, describing a large quantity, widely distributed. Next, let's learn the character 帛, silk.帛has zhēn at the bottom, indicating it's related to cloth. Above is 白, white, indicating pronunciation, and also meaning white. The original meaning of 帛 is undyed white cloth. Later, 帛 became the general term for all silk fabrics. 布帛 in ancient times referred to all types of cloth. Cloth was very valuable in ancient times, because eating and clothing are two fundamental necessities for human survival. So cloth and silk were often used as valuable gifts, exchanged between people. Jade was also very valuable in ancient times. When countries exchanged gifts in ancient times, they often combined jade and silk, calling it 玉帛. There's an idiom called 化干戈为玉帛. Gan means shield. Ge means weapon. Gange refers to war. 玉帛 are gifts exchanged during friendly interactions. Originally, these two countries were at war in a state of conflict so represented by gange. But now they're no longer fighting, engaging in peace talks, exchanging gifts, so represented by 玉帛. This idiom means to stop war and coexist peacefully. 玉帛 wasn't only used for gift-giving. It was also commonly used in sacrifices. For example, in the article 曹刿论战, Cao Gui once asked Duke Zhuang of Lu, saying they were about to go to war with Qi, what conditions did he think would ensure victory? Duke Zhuang of Lu mentioned one called 牺牲玉帛. 夫敢家也. Be ye xin. What does this mean? It means the offerings to ancestors. I dare not exaggerate when praying. Report exactly what there is. Called 夫敢家也. 牺牲 are sacrificial animals like pigs, cattle, sheep. 玉帛 are jade objects and silk cloth. Next, let's learn a more complex character created with zhēn, and also discuss some new characters derived from this form. First, let's look at the character B. The earliest form of B shows a piece of cloth hanging on the left. On the right is a hand holding a stick, with some dots above, indicating the stick breaking the cloth. The whole image shows breaking clothes with a stick. B means tattered clothing, extended to mean anything old and broken. There's an idiom called 敝帚自珍. 敝帚 means an old broom. When a broom is old, it's useless. But because it's one's own, one still cherishes it greatly, reluctant to throw it away. Metaphorically, something may be poor in quality, but one cherishes it greatly. For example, his pencil case is very old, but because he's used it for so many years, 敝帚自珍, he still won't replace it with a new one. Using B as a phonetic component combined with zhēn created a common character. That is B, currency. Our modern form adds a slash above zhēn. Actually, B was originally written like this, B. The top B indicates the sound. The bottom zhēn indicates relation to cloth. In simplified character, they found writing B troublesome, so replaced it with a simple slash. The original meaning of B was silk products given as gifts. Later it referred to currency, money for buying things. Because cloth was very valuable in ancient times, there was a period when cloth was used as money to buy things. So ancient money was initially called bu. In the poem Meng from the Book of Songs, there's a line like this. 蒙之痴痴，抱不冒丝. It says that young man, smiling foolishly, brought money to my house to buy silk. Here, bu actually refers to cloth money. D was ancient money. Later, money came to be represented by B. B is actually also a type of cloth. Today we only use B to represent money, like the most common renminbi, meaning Chinese currency. Finally, let's learn the character zhī, to weave. Zhī was originally written like this, zhī. Let's look at it. It originally depicted needle and thread, embroidering on cloth with a needle. Top and bottom are pieces of cloth connected by thread in the middle. Later the character form changed. The bottom part still has the shape of zhēn recognizable as cloth, but the top part no longer looks like cloth. The original meaning of zhī is patterns made with needle and thread. Later it came to refer to all needlework. There's an ancient term zhēn zhī, meaning sewing, embroidery. This term for needlework is used frequently in Dream of the Red Chamber. For example, in Chapter 4 of Dream of the Red Chamber, it says Shui Bao Chai was considerate of her mother. How was it described? After her father's death, seeing her brother couldn't comfort their mother, she didn't focus on reading and writing, but paid attention to needlework and household matters, to share her mother's burdens. Here zhēn zhī means helping mother with needlework. In ancient times, using zhī they created characters related to clothing. For example, two characters, fu fu, were both created from zhī. The components fu and ba on the side indicate pronunciation. Both characters represented patterns on formal clothing. The first is an axe-shaped pattern. The second resembles the shape of the character ya. Such formal clothing was generally only worn by emperors or nobility. For example, in Chapter 3 of Dream of the Red Chamber describing Lin Daiyu entering the Jia mansion she saw in the main hall. A couplet written by the Prince of Dong'an. The couplet's content was 座上珠玑朝日月，堂前俯伏唤烟霞。Meaning the guests seated there wore pearls and jade as bright as the sun and moon. Their formal clothing patterns were as brilliant as clouds and mist. This describes the extreme nobility of the host. Saying the guests present were all people of high status and position. 俯伏 were the patterns on the formal clothing worn by nobility.